Hello and welcome to this new Feature Friday episode. Today, still from lovely Kopangan, and I am super excited to have Mel with me again. She is now the second time with me on the show, and there's a good reason for it because a lot has changed. So, thank you, Mel. First of all, thanks for joining, for taking your time, for being with us today here. And you're over in, thank you, in Kolanta, so not too far. And so we are neighbors, so to speak. And yeah, I'm super excited to hear your story because last time when we talked, you shared everything you knew about how to be a virtual assistant as in the field of social media, marketing and blogging. And now, 1.5 years later, you are running your own business and have several websites and have your own VAs. So this is, I think, a very interesting story. And I'm glad you have the time to share a little bit about this. As a first question, can you tell us when did you notice that you are now in a position to actually change the chairs, yeah, from VA to becoming your own business owner?
Yeah, I mean, I think last time when we were talking, when we did this video 1.5 years ago, I think I was at the stage where I was starting to outsource tasks myself because I was getting a bit overwhelmed with everything I had to do. And at this moment, I was actually diving deep into SEO, and I realized that was the thing I liked the most about blogging in general was all about SEO. So I wanted to do that more, and I wanted to do Pinterest less. So I was a bit getting tired of all the social media and all the efforts to put into it. So I decided to start outsourcing stuff, and I stopped taking freelancing clients basically and focus more on my own project.
Okay.
And then quickly I realized that, well, first I was enjoying myself way more with the tasks that I enjoyed doing. And I was able to actually make more money by outsourcing more. So it was kind of an investment. You invest money, but then you get a bigger return. So it was a bit more interesting for me.
But if I can ask you something right here, because this is something you didn't know. I mean, I'm imagining now people watching us, and then they say, okay, but how if this doesn't work out? In my case, if I'm hiring someone, there's a high risk that the business might fail, and then I have invested this money. Have you already had experience, or why were you so sure?
At this point, because I had done virtual work myself, I actually knew what quality was really important to me and what kind of task would have a higher return for me. So for example, because I had I had 2 blogs at the time. Now I have 6 different websites. But back then I had 2 websites, and it was quite hard to juggle everything, like all the social media, all the content.
I imagine, yes.
Yeah, it was like quite busy already. So I decided that I wanted to outsource some of the content. So for example, what I call the affiliate posts. So like the money articles, sometimes are quite boring to write. So I was outsourcing this to my writers. And then once I started to notice that actually I was making more money with affiliate marketing this way, it made more sense to outsource a lot more content like that.
Okay.
And then I would do the research for all the keywords, and then I would outsource the content. So then I would do the part that I like, which was the SEO part of it. And then the content would be written by someone else. So for me, it was already, I could prove my concept quite quick. Like after a few months, I knew, okay, this is a good strategy.
So, but you still, even if you say you outsource the writing, I mean, if you have a blog, you are the voice, you are the face that makes the brand unique. And by the way, you were one of the first travel blogs that I came across when I started looking into travel blogging back in 2014. And I remember your blog because it was unique. You were very funny in the way of writing, and also with sometimes you notice the French accent or the Frenchness in it. So I enjoyed very much reading it, and this inspired me also to do it because yeah, I thought you just have to bring in your personality, and I think that is what
Hmm.
made a broken backpack so successful, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I
And
mean, I still write content. It just I
yeah,
pick the articles I want to write versus the one I don't want to write.
but
Um,
for those you don't write the content, you still give the base. I mean, you tell them the
yeah.
keywords, yeah, and then they start
So in
writing.
general, yeah, exactly. I
Mm,
actually give an outline. I have already my keyword research all done. So like when I give the list to the writer, they know the outline, they know the keywords that I'm targeting, and also I will review all the content, and
of
then
course, yeah,
sometimes I add my own introduction, own conclusion, and stuff like that
yeah,
because I still want the brand to be like with my voice, of course.
yes,
Um, so like that's my way of putting my little voice in there, but then I
yeah,
don't necessarily want to do the research for, like, let's say if I'm writing product review, I don't
mm,
really want to do necessarily the whole research about it. And
yes,
there is obviously some content I prefer to write and some other that I'm like, I know I should write about this, but I don't really enjoy it, so uh, but those are normally the money posts. So it's important to have that in your website if you are planning on monetizing your blog. And
yes.
I didn't enjoy writing those, so I wanted to outsource them.
Did you feel that the money came in once you hit a certain number of traffic monthly, or did you already make money from these posts when your numbers were still low? Was there one
Um,
magic number?
so I mean, like last time when we talked, I was already on Mediavine, so my website was
Okay.
already having enough traffic to be on Mediavine. But like I think now I have more than the double of the traffic that I had back then.
Oh
So
wow.
um,
Yeah.
obviously, like I have more traffic because I have more articles, but
Uh-huh.
also I mean,
Yeah.
because I'm so into SEO, I think that really helped because even though like Google changes its algorithm all the time, I feel like I'm on top of thing. I'm not losing any traffic, so I feel like the type of content I'm writing is working well with even the updates because
Yeah.
nowadays Google is taking over the travel industry. So it is like you're
Yes.
competing against Google. That's pretty hard. But
That is.
if you have a different type of content, so for example, I was always writing about long-term travel.
Mm-hmm.
Google cannot give answers about that. So I
Yeah.
think that's kind of something that makes me different from
Okay.
Google. So that would help.
That's cool. So you definitely would recommend either you have a deep knowledge of SEO if you're running your own blog, or you hire someone who helps you with SEO
Mm-hmm.
when you're having a blog. Yeah. Okay. And then, yeah, speaking of hiring someone, I mean, you were a VA yourself, and maybe that's how you then knew other VAs yourself, or how did you start finding your employees now? Where did you look for?
Um, yeah, I would say that I was always very active in Facebook group in general, and I always use Facebook even as a VA to find new clients. So I was
Mm-hmm.
always like really in like active. So I could see who else was a VA, and then
Uh-huh.
I think back then I was still living in Bali, and then I had some of my friends who were virtual assistant there, and like I feel like it was quite easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I decided to hire more people, so my VA could recommend other people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it was a bit of a trial because I feel like sometimes you can have so many options that it's actually hard to find the right people because you want
Yeah,
the people to understand your brand, your voice, but also
exactly.
because I'm not a native English, I wanted to have someone that was also a native speaker. So at
Yeah,
least they can do some proofreading for me also. So.
very smart. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. And you have two now or three? No, two VAs. So.
So I depends. Like at the moment, I have three, but it was like because I was working on a bigger project, so I needed someone to work on a particular project. So I have a VA that does French stuff for me because I also have French websites right now, and I have a VA that does English stuff for me, and then another one who was doing other projects.
Okay.
Plus, I
How?
have content writers. Like,
Wow.
there's a lot of people to manage.
How many hours per day do you work? That's an unrelated question,
Okay.
but I'm curious.
Yeah, at the moment, I don't work that much. I work between 25 hours and 30 hours a week.
Okay. Wow, that's good. So it really works with the concept of outsourcing, huh?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I was always like a bit a fanatic of like I want to work less. I even like a year ago I was working about 4 hours a week, but then I realized that I was it was very like stagnant. I could not
Hmm.
scale my
Grow.
business, and right now I'm
Yeah.
working more, but also I can tell it's worth it. Like
It's
it's
yeah.
worth it.
Okay. For someone who has been a VA yourself and now managing a group of VAs, what would you say is the most important characteristic or yeah, what do we say people need to have or be if they want to become a VA?
To be a VA, I think you need to be reliable. I think that's the first thing because
Yes.
I feel like for a lot of people, even myself, it is very hard to trust
Yeah.
employees. And the reason is really simple. If I'm going to spend so many hours and so many years even working on a project,
Yeah.
I don't want to give it to someone else and they're going to, you know, like mess it up or something. So
Yeah.
they need to be reliable. So for me, let's say if I'm organizing a call for like an interview and the person is already late on the first day, is not a good sign. It's a red flag. And sadly, it happens really often. um,
Yes, I can
and
imagine. Oh,
yeah. And then it's like first it's like being reliable is also like respecting your deadline. So if I give a deadline to someone and they're constantly late, then it means for me that I cannot count them for urgent stuff. Maybe they can do things that they're not really important that much, but
yeah.
if I need to run a team, I don't have time to start managing people and having to deal with people that are constantly late,
Yeah.
because otherwise like I will waste my time, you know. So I think for me, that's the most important thing because that's also how you build trust. So if someone is always on time and they always deliver on time, that means that I can trust them and then
Hmm.
give them more tasks and eventually they can get even a better position.
Yeah. And do you do something like feedback calls, or I mean, you now a boss, right? You have your employees, and
Yeah.
then you have to take, yeah, you have to take care of that the team works well and that everything is according to plan, like you want it. So I'm sure you have more tasks than before when you didn't have
Yeah,
any
it's
employees.
different type of
Different
task
tasks, yeah.
actually. Yeah, I would say like usually I love Slack, so I
Hmm.
basically work a lot with Slack. So I have my personal channel with everyone, and I give them feedback when necessary. Or like I I think at the beginning I was a bit annoyed with all the feedback because I was feeling like I was wasting so much time with the feedback. But
Yeah.
then I was talking with some other friends who also have VAs, and they were telling me like you need to spend time giving them feedback because otherwise you're just
They
going
do.
to get more frustrated and they won't improve, you know. So
Yeah, of course.
uh,
I mean, yeah, I think it's a growing process. They first have to also learn exactly what you want. I mean, you can
mhm.
tell this much, but then it's during the time that people really understand. And this leads me to
Mhm.
my next question. So you have some sort of, I imagine, a document where you have all your, how is that called? The procedures? No, there's a certain
Oh, like some
expression.
kind of guidelines, you
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
or
yeah. Yes, exactly. Do you have something like a guideline?
yeah, so that was one of the things that I actually did. I think about a month ago, I started to create some kind of templates for everything. So
Uh-huh.
because I was feeling like I was wasting so much time creating a new outline for everything, for all the tasks. So
Yeah.
now I have all my templates. And I know also now because I know a little bit more everyone. So I know who needs more clarification and more guidelines. And some other people are a bit more like leaders and they can understand better what I want.
Okay.
So I can tell like, okay, this person needs a lot of guidelines. So like then it's like really step by step, but then they deliver better work this way. Then
Yeah, of
some other
course.
people tell them I need this, and then boom, it's done, you know. So it's very different, but now I have all my templates for everything and I save more time also this way.
And of course, yeah, I like that. And when you say templates, do you mean like when they, for example, write for you? Do you have already like a structure, a Google Doc where you say the article needs to be set up like this and that? Or
Yeah,
what do
I
you mean
have
by
some
template?
templates. I have like templates for like let's say content, and I
Mm-hmm.
have templates like for other tasks. Like so, for example, social media
Yeah.
related tasks, or if I have like scheduling in Facebook group or this kind of stuff, I also have the template already that explains how to do the task, because if eventually, because sometimes virtual assistant also, they have other clients, so if they actually eventually leave, well, I have like, I don't need to rewrite it again. I can just copy paste it and
Okay.
send it to the new person. So
Okay.
and then this way I'm going to save time and
Yeah, that's good. If you had to hire someone today, what would be the thing that you look in their CV? Is it important to have loads of or many years of experience, or what's more
no.
important?
For me, like, I like to ask for a portfolio if they have. So like, for example, if I'm hiring a content writer,
Mm-hmm.
I like to see like writing samples, just to see, does it fit the voice of the brand I'm working with, or like, is it gonna be a good fit?
Uh-huh.
Because I have many websites right now, they all a bit different, right? So I need to find the
Yeah.
right person for the type of content.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it's like, let's say for virtual assistants, like usually I try them on different things. So like, let's say I will try them on social media, I will try them with content writing for emails, and then I can see what they're better at. So then
Uh-huh.
I can focus the task for that person. Like, let's say it's going to be all email marketing stuff versus it's going to be only content writing.
Right.
Just because I prefer to work with the things that they are better at, because if I'm paying for a service, I want to make sure it's good. So if something is not that good and it doesn't improve over time, then I'm like, okay, I will not focus my energy on this. I will focus
Of
on this
course.
instead.
Yeah, absolutely. One last question. If you can think of yourself now in the future in 5 years, do you have any projection? Do you like picture yourself somewhere or at some point? I mean, business wise, not with your
Mm-hmm.
love or private life.
I mean, I'm hoping the boyfriend is still gonna be there.
Yeah.
I'm
Happy
kidding.
anniversary, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I mean, so right now I already have like my monthly goals. I have my quarter goals, and I also have my yearly goals. Um, so if I have to picture it in 5 years, I would say I would like that one of my business, which is like the newest one, which is all about SEO and translation, actually. So I'm offering a service that offers translation, but also SEO.
Uh-huh.
So it's good to combine both, because a lot of people are using just Google Translate, but obviously it is not going to do a good job. So
Yeah,
and then so this is my newest project, and it's the one that
that's
I'm the
good.
most passionate about right now. So and we actually started to get their first clients for this agency, so I'm really excited about it.
Wow.
So I'm hoping that this is going to go well, and I could actually eventually open up to different markets.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like right now I'm focusing on Canadian French translation and SEO, but I'm hoping that eventually I can do more different languages. So that
Uh-huh.
would be really nice. So that's kind
Yeah.
of the goal where I'm going. But obviously I have different websites right now. So I'm hoping that some of them are still quite new, but I'm
Yeah.
hoping that I will manage to get more traffic, and then eventually maybe sell some of these websites.
Well,
Keep
yeah.
I Broken My Back, of course, because that's
That's your
my little
baby.
baby project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
It
you
was
can
the
sell
first
that.
one. So yeah, exactly. And the brand is really around me also. So like right now it's not in the plan to sell it, but eventually maybe the other websites, yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so that's where I see myself, and I'm hoping to have like a bigger team working with me.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
And all remotely, right? So this is also
Yeah.
a big remote company. Yeah, if you cool. So I'm liking this. I wish you good luck and hope we can do this in well, maybe not in 5 years, but maybe in 2 years again to
Mm-hmm.
see how far you got. And so if you wanted to add something else, if someone is watching and is maybe already an VA or wants to become one or wants to become now a business owner like yourself, any advice? Any last words?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say that for me, like one of the turning point was when I decided to change my mindset about it, because I think when you live in tropical destination, it is so easy to get in the lazy mode.
Yeah.
Um, Oh,
Really?
it's
Yeah.
hot. Well, I mean, for for me,
Maybe.
it's like when it's hot and like on the beach, it's like there's so many distractions. So I would say that the day I decided, okay, I wanted to actually spend more time, investing my time and my money in the business, I could
Yeah.
see way more results. And
Yeah.
also, like the people that surround you, I think they also influence you a lot. So
Oh, yeah.
um, if you like, start to hang out with people that are successful in their online businesses, also is gonna help you grow. Um, so
That
I
is
think
true.
that was one of the biggest accomplishment I managed to do, and it really impacted my business. So
I think this is a really good advice and good for last words, because I think if you're good at something and you want to take it to the next level, it always helps if there's a positive vibration around you, and if people, like
Mhm.
you just said, inspire you, and always, yeah, if you hang out with the right people, you can only go towards your goals. It helps you so much.
Mhm.
That's why I also like to go to certain conferences where people are motivated, they are on the same page, they have same dreams and goals, and it's different because, like you say, you hang out on
Mhm.
tropical islands and everyone is just here on vacation, and then, yeah, of course there are some digital nomads hanging around too, but you don't get this work mood, or
Mhm.
not so easily. So absolutely, people hang out with the
Mhm.
right people.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, man, this was very interesting. Thanks so much. I hope people like it, and if you have any questions, whoever's watching now, please leave a comment below, and I'm sure Mel, if you have the time, or one of your VAs will have the time, they will answer them then.
Mhm.
And yeah, best of luck to you. We're gonna follow along and hoping to see you somewhere up there then in the future.
Thank you.
Okay, happy weekend to the rest of you, and until next Friday when it's time for another Feature Friday. All right, bye.
Bye.